Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin is currently up 0.89% to 41,691. Ethereum up 0.39% to 3097. We can see some interesting movements at the moment. Zilliqa is up 18.22%. Synthetics is doing really well. Kava is doing well. The DeFi sector is also looking pretty good. It's showing some good signs across the board. Ape was on a bit of a rampage. It's now retracing, but it was doing incredibly well. Well done to everybody in Ape. And this is the entire thing with crypto. Have a look at 0x protocol. ZRX has come up by 52.69%. This is the exponential nature of crypto. It's unlike any market on the planet. It's just awesome. I've left links in the description of this video. Please know I never reach out and say people contact me on X or Y or Z. If you would like to contact me or look at any of these links, they're very useful. You can just find them in the description. Please be aware of scammers. If you're going through a life pullback at the moment, please know that our community's love and healing thoughts are with you. You're not alone. The sun will come out again, and there's always hope. I wanted to say a really big thank you for all the comments that were left on episode 500. I always do my best to read every comment, and wow, those comments were just amazing. I've just left a little heart and a little like against every single comment I've read. Thanks so much everyone, and we've made this community a family together. You're also very special to me. Let's see what Bitcoin is up to. What mischief is afoot here? We know the cryptocurrency is a small market in comparison globally through market capitalization to stocks and bonds. And we know that we're really early in the process. Crypto has literally decades to play out, and most people don't really understand crypto. That means you're super early. And when people understand that crypto is just the upgrade of the internet to the internet of value, they're just going to pile into it because, hey, it's just the internet. But we also know that crypto is incredibly volatile. We must be careful about how we do things. Crypto technical analysts scientifically track investor attention through price, which is reality. We have a scientific process of marking up our charts, looking to world events and collecting probabilities. We need to do this because the crypto market is not isolated. It doesn't act independently of other markets. It acts in unison with other markets. When the main markets sell off, that can cause a sell-off in crypto. We have to be really aware of things. Then we look inside the crypto market to find the market's focus, understanding just like in life, opportunities reset daily, and we enhance our pattern recognition. The concept is to actually benefit from your beloved alt. You want to time your entries and your exits. This takes skill. And one thing to always bear in mind, self-doubt and self-sabotage are really nasty things, and they're unknown to a lot of people. When you deal with money, of course you don't want to lose it, so you want to be certain as to what is happening. And also you may start with a little bit, so you'll want to multiply that as quickly as possible into a lot. Both are risks. When you actually are scared, you have what's called scared money. Scared money is often lost. And it's often lost because people don't control their emotional state. They wait till price is going up, and then when it goes up, what happens? Price moves in a wave and it comes down. Getting ruled by emotions is a normal thing. It's part of the cycle. Can you imagine if you had been unlucky enough to buy this particular crypto, Chili's, at that stage, and then as price comes down, look at that. That in itself is a 46.96% drop. There would be very few people, retail thinkers, that would just say, oh, I'm just going to hold on. This is okay. Most people would capitulate. And when you can see it moves up and it moves down, it moves up, moves down. In fact, from there to there, just going to these low points, is nearly a 60% drop in value. A lot of people would say, oh, it's all over. I've missed buying the bottom, so I'm out. I'm capitulating. And then what happens? It does exactly this. And then what happens? It does that. You can see how easy it would be for people to actually get out when they should be buying and get in when they should be selling. Having a real wealth perspective creates a non-emotional way of looking at the market, and that's really, really important. After all, your money is on the line, and it's really hard to earn money. That's why real wealth actually comes before the trigger section on how to buy and how to sell. There is a lot of methodologies that you can use, and it's all about patiently applying the 10-5-10 rule, making volatility your best friend. And it's about BORSOGing, buying on red, selling on green. When we look at the stock market and we know that Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity, and we also know your beloved alts depend on Bitcoin's price momentum. So if Bitcoin is coming down, your alt is coming down, but it's coming down harder in 99% of the cases. Not 100, but 99%. When we look at the fear in the market, we can see the fears coming out of the market at the moment, and we can see the futures in the NASDAQ 100. They're started to get a little bit shaky, and that's reflected back into the crypto market as well. Economic concern, as measured by bond prices, has been decreasing, and decreasing very, very sharply. Technically, this is an unsustainable downtrend. It will bounce at some stage, and it's starting to already. We can see gold, which measures geopolitical risk. For example, the spike here was Russia and Ukraine, and things have calmed down a bit, but gold is in a long-term uptrend. It's not always geopolitical risk, but generally it is. And when we look at the US dollar currency index, the DXY or DXY, we can see that's starting to retrace. What generally happens if you have very sharp movements up, you can get sharp movements down like this. Things can get wobbly. It can get unsustainable. The inverse of bond prices is bond yields, and bond yields have been going up parabolically. This also has to fix itself. It's an unhealthy trend. When you get unhealthy trends like this, they correct, and they wipe a lot of people out because people get certain. It's that certainty. That's why we must have a look at the lens of the market through an unemotional perspective. If we get emotional, we say, oh no, I've got a fear of missing out. I have to get in. And then if greed takes over, it can be, I'm not just going in, I'm going all in. And if you go all in, that's really, really bad. You should never do that. It's always good to have some dry powder. And when we look at oil prices, they also surged when gold prices were surging because of the Russian threat to oil supply throughout Europe. And now what do we see? This is in a downtrend. We've got a high here, but this is a lower high, and this is a lower high. It's a little bit undecided at the moment because it's got some support underneath it. It's a little bit wobbly. And this is the thing with the financial markets. They're really, really wobbly at the moment. I've been waiting to update the KS model, and quite a few people have said, Ken, update the KS model. And I really want to, but I'm waiting for clarification on absolute market direction. I take my estimates really, really seriously. And when I make one, I don't move it around. When we look at Bitcoin compared to inflation expectations, we can see inflation is still going up. That may mean that the Fed says, well, we're going to tighten much more than anticipated, but a lot of this has been already priced into the market. Just something to be aware of. But inflation in terms of Bitcoin is actually really good. But what we're seeing here is the Nasdaq's gravity pushing Bitcoin down. You can see this association coming through. When we see the federal balance sheet, the Fed's balance sheet, it's actually starting to tick up. And this is also quite interesting because they're saying, no, we're tightening, we're going to reduce our balance sheet. But the stats don't lie, they're going up. And when we look at CPI, which is a bit of actually a dodgy measure, but anyway, when we look at the CPI, and this is a problem with indices in general, when people have indexes, the underlying components on indexes can get shuffled around like balls under a cup. That's why I don't like indices. They don't give you a lot of depth of data. But the CPI is definitely going up, and it's been going up for quite some time. The M1 and M2 money stocks are also going up. That means there's more cash in the economy, and that creates inflationary pressures. You can think of the supply of money, the greater it gets, and if you have fixed or decreasing resources, for example, the supply chain bottlenecks we've witnessed all over the place, they're causing inflation as well. What this is showing is if you look at the NASDAQ compared to Bitcoin and these 10-year and 5-year break-even inflation rates with the context of inflation, the CPI, M1, M2, and the Fed balance sheet, what they're saying basically here is that as inflation came down, stock market confidence returned. So therefore, there was a gravity effect on Bitcoin. It's really important to also understand that even though Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity, it can get away from it just like 1% of the alts do. In a way, you could look at Bitcoin as an alt to the stock market. So our favorite rule is Rule 45, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. We spent a little bit of time looking through the markets because a lot of newspapers and economic commentators will talk about it. You have the statistics in front of you. You can run the numbers yourself. And as we go through them a lot, you'll get really, really familiar with it. And you can assess whether people are talking about something with knowledge or they're talking about it with fear. And the difference is really, really important. One thing that will save you money is to know the facts. How have we been going with Bitcoin? We've seen that we had a slight dip into A, as some people, some of our beloved community members said, I'd like to see it just dip into A and then go back to C. And that's pretty much what it did. What are we seeing here? Look at this resistance line. Bitcoin is seeking to get above that. It's seeking to get above this resistance at 41,635. Its current price is in excess of that at 41,647. This is realistically quite healthy. So what caused this increase in Bitcoin's price? We've seen the NASDAQ 100 actually turn around and go positive. When we had a bit of a positive movement in the futures, that took Bitcoin on a ride. And the NASDAQ 100 is still going up. It's just bouncing along a support line at the moment. Just please keep this in mind. And you can see the correlation here, the directional correlation. You'll notice periods with the NASDAQ 100 where it doesn't wobble, it's just a straight line. They are weekends. And this is really interesting to note. Weekends do not occur in crypto, and that's the beauty of it. You can just get up at any time, day or night, and you can trade crypto, but don't get too tired. We look at long and short behavior. The longs are in the green, the shorts are in the red. Why do we look at this? Because it's all about confidence. We're actually detectives. We're like crypto detectives. We're gathering and collecting probabilities. When we see more and more longs coming into the market, this means there's good positive momentum to the upside. When we get a spike in shorts like this, it's because the shorts expect that the market will tank, basically. And if it does, it does. And if it doesn't, it just tends to go sideways. Are we seeing any behavior like this? Not at the moment. What actually we're seeing is that the shorts are a bit tentative. They have increased and they've maintained levels, but they're not spiking up. They're a little bit hesitant to get in. This is saying to me that the shorts basically say, oh, we don't know what the market is doing, but we're not quite confident the market is going down. Why are the longs getting confident and the shorts getting anxious? That's because when we look at the crypto fear and greed index, we can see the fear has been very, very high over the past couple of days. And this is actually a bottoming action. Anytime we get a big amount of fear, it generally means we're going to get a turnaround in price. This is looking really good. This is a buy signal for professionals, and we've also got an overcoming of resistance here. We had a bit of a sell down there, which was all about, hey, is this thing real, or are we going to have more fear? And it was like, no, we're pretty confident, we're going up. And we can see aggregated open interest starting to bottom out, just like Bitcoin's pattern. It's looking quite good in the market. Turning to liquidations, there's been $151.18 million of liquidations, and these are both long and short liquidations across 46,668 positions. In the past 24 hours, if we look at total exchange liquidations, about 51% of those were longs. And if we look at the past 1 hour, we can see the majority are long. What about the past 4 hours? Whoa, the majority was short, 60%. What about 12 hours? 54%. What you can see here is the things really move around in crypto. A lot of people go long and short at the same time. They do that to hedge their position. Unfortunately, I've seen so many people get stopped out in both directions of their hedge, which means they get liquidated to the long side and to the short side pretty much in the span of 10 or 15 minutes. If you're leverage trading, please don't do it in crypto. It will cost you severely. It's just a question of when. The philosophy of our channel, of our community, is to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love. Leverage trading does not take you there until you've got very good skills, and even then you don't need to use leverage trading in crypto. If you have the right mindset and the right rules, you'll do really well, and that's what it's all about in life anyway. If we look at futures open interest, we can see that there's a very positive association between Bitcoin's price, this sort of orangey yellow line, and the green, which is futures open interest from Binance, the world's largest exchange. We can see an upward momentum in open interest. This is really good. This means increasing confidence, all of those longs coming into the market. From our detective work, we would say that the general direction of the market is quite positive at the moment. It's really interesting because when people look at the market like this, they'd say, hey Ken, why is it positive? Look, these things are going down. It's all about doing the detective work behind the scenes. That's what actually is your first level of risk management. When we look inside the crypto market at all of those beloved alts, one thing that you will notice, often we get a spike up in some specific kind of crypto. What was this crypto? Okay, this one was audio. You see audio spiked up and then it went down. What about this one? What's this guy? Decret, DCR. What about this one? That is XYM. What you actually see a lot of times when things spike up, they retrace, and they can retrace very substantially as well. Just please keep this in mind. As professionals, we like to sell these things, not buy them, and that's the opposite of retail thinking. A lot of people say, I don't want to sell it, I just bought into it. I just want to ride it up and up. The key is if you're investing, having a trading knowledge will really help you. Traders are expert at buying and selling, and all investors become traders anytime they buy or sell. So identifying yourself as an investor is really shortchanging yourself. If you just see that you're just buying and selling, your holding period may be different, but that is a really good way to look at the market. You certainly don't want to buy something up here when you could buy it down here and trade this little bump and do quite well. We can see that all the time in the crypto market, just something to be aware of. Now let's have a look at the top performers over the past 7 days. The top performer was Synthetics, SNX, up nearly 29%, EOS up a little over 20%, Ape nearly 20%, ZIL 18%, Carver 17.5%, Cake coming up pretty strongly now, 14%, audio 13%, KSM over 11%. This is really interesting to keep your eye on. If you're actually looking at this momentum, you can see this white line, that's Bitcoin. What do you notice about all of these top alts? These are the top alts by market cap. They're all following Bitcoin. They're going up and down. Look at these Jaggers. It's almost like, Mick Jagger. It's almost like this is like a geological fault line. And this is what you will see in the crypto market. It's so fascinating. You will always get one or two that escape Bitcoin's gravity, but they will come down if the price momentum goes the other way. And this is also really important to understand when you buy and when you sell. When we go to the top cryptos, what do we see with Bitcoin? Bitcoin is maintaining its support level and it's moving in a wave. A lot of people say when Bitcoin gets through, or any crypto gets through a support level, it's just going to shoot to the moon. And some do that, absolutely. But the vast majority will keep on moving in a wave. Don't worry about missing out on anything. You will never miss out. There's always more opportunities in crypto. Now, what is this blue line? That is Bitcoin's gravity. That's Bitcoin's price action. Do you notice when Bitcoin goes up, what does Ethereum do? It goes up. When Bitcoin comes down, what does Ethereum do? It comes down as well. This is really important to understand. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. And escape is the key word. Even though you have 1% that can overshoot, they're generally, as we've seen many times, and I drill into this, when you see it on like a 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, they're actually following Bitcoin's gravity, but they're over exaggerating up and down moves. So what do we see here? What's our prognosis? What's our diagnosis on Bitcoin? It's looking really good. It's above support. It's starting to make its way up. It's actually doing really healthy price action at the moment. We don't want it to overshoot. If it overshoots like this, sharp angles reflect. It's going to come down like this. If it overshoots, sharp angles reflect. It's going to come down. If it does this, sharp angles reflect. It's going to come down. You see, price is always moving in a wave. This is what price does. It's an absolute guaranteed way to make money and to de-FOMO and de-FUD your thinking. And you must do that if you're to be successful. We can see Binance Coin following Bitcoin's gravity starting to form an upward progression, momentum here. XRP is a little different. It's looking a little bit shaky, but that's because there was some very good news earlier and we had a news spike. It was basically the SEC is going to drop the Ripple case, which was not the truth, but many YouTubers said that. And it's just really be careful what you read. There's a lot of people out there and they don't have your best interests at heart. Looking at Cardano, ADA, it's also following Bitcoin's gravity. And if we actually make it up to this previous peak, there's about a 30% odd gain in that. And when we look at Solana coming back to this peak about 30%, we aim at saying, well, let's just make 10% a week and just compound that. That's pretty good. But actually at the right time, you'll make far more than that. But sometimes it can take some weeks to get that. So average of 10% is pretty cool. Let's have a look at Luna. What we see recently is Luna is following Bitcoin's gravity. It did a very big wave up just here. Luna is incredibly powerful. AVAX is just turning around, but that's quite a nice increase up to that particular peak. You can see that's around 30% as well. So AVAX, Sol, ADA, all looking quite nice. Turning to the community favorites, we can see Gala under pressure, but forming a BA. So this is actually quite good. Masterclass students, let me know what you think about that one. And it's good to discuss this in the comments section because it helps other people as well. RSR, it's looking, very wobbly actually, but we've got a bit of power in here. It's not a gentle arc here. It's kind of a staggered one, and that means that there's power resident under RSR. The sellers are losing control over it, And the sellers are definitely losing control over Icon at the moment. The buyers are starting to come back into the fore. Well done. I know we have a lot of Icon lovers in the community, so congratulations everyone. VRA is just consolidating. What potentially you could think about is that cryptos consolidate, explode, implode, consolidate, explode, implode. This is a natural mechanism by what cryptos actually move by. And you can see with Silica, wow, what an exponential explosion this was. And this is what we need to keep in mind. The crypto market is nothing like the stock market. The stock market is pretty gentle. It can have very turbulent stocks from time to time, but the whole crypto market is turbulent. That's where it differs. And Rune is looking really good as well. We see IOTA forming a strong base here. The sellers really have tried to push it down without success. So we're getting a really good consolidation. Eventually the seller's going to run out of ammunition to throw at this. And if we see Bitcoin come up, you can expect really good momentum behind all of these cryptos. Now, why do I say that? Because it's the law of the crypto market. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. So when Bitcoin comes down, the alt comes down. When Bitcoin comes up, the alt comes up. You can see it playing out time and time and time again. That's why I always enhance your pattern recognition every day. You'll just become superstars at this. Now we've got a reasonable feeling of how things are turning out. I'll just go back to the Bitcoin chart. Please let me know in the comments, where do you think Bitcoin is headed to? It's just in C zone now. We've got support at 41,559. Support below that is 39,084. Resistance above is 44,229. Where do you think Bitcoin will end up in 24 hours time? Do you think it will be in C, in A, in B, or in D? Let's just keep it to those four for now. I'd love to hear your comments. And another really good thing, we know that you can turn very large percentages on these top cryptos. And what I mean when we can turn very large percentages, you don't need to turn a great percentage to do really, really well. You can turn a small amount into a much larger amount if you can, over a specific time frame, keep on aggregating your returns. This is really, really important. A lot of investors say, I'm holding on for my 2x or 10x. If you actually got 10% per week on average, you would actually get 117.4x. So worrying about 10x's, 20x's, 30x's, if you actually trade, you're going to do really well, but you must have the knowledge. You need to know the rules. You must have the patience. Getting that real wealth mindset to fight self-sabotage and self-doubt is absolutely and utterly vital, and it will also give you a beautiful life as well. And buying on red is absolutely critical. Professionals actually make a loss as they buy. They're deliberately creating losses in their account. This is very, very foreign to retail investors and traders. Professionals think differently. That's why so few people are professional. I want to thank everybody that reached out and said, Ken, I think an NFT on Let's Run the Numbers could be good, or perhaps one on Real Wealth, or Positive Excellence, or Opportunities Reset Daily, or Psychology Sets Profitability. And these are the rule numbers. So R570 is that one. And what about Buying Creates Profit, or No Alt Can Escape Bitcoin's Gravity, or Intangibles Create Tangibles, or I Am Worthy, Master Yourself to Master the Markets, Remain Calm, Diamond Mind? There's so many. Can you please let me know what is your favorite, or maybe your two favorite, and just leave a number next to it and just say in the comments, oh, I'd like number whatever it is or whatever it is. And that's really great, because what I'll do is then I'll take the most favorited by the community and I will create an NFT out of that, and I'll make sure it's really, really affordable. We have some NFTs on OpenSea, and I've left the link in the description of this video, but the concept is I would create something like this. I handcraft all of these, so you'll know it's from me and with heaps of love as well. I really believe that NFTs are going to be absolutely and utterly huge, and actually understanding NFTs will be vital for you going forward. So this is kind of just a little thing that you can get used to. Many people have never owned an NFT, and they're really good to own, because what you will actually find is owning an NFT actually opens the door to so many new ways to think. It's just fantastic stuff. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you as part of our globally extended family. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers, and to the CTKS ambassadors for mentoring masterclass students, and of course a very big thank you to you for watching and for being part of our global family. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the links to the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass. Please reach out and contact an ambassador for 80% off. You'll find them on this link. I also have some really great data sources in here that you can use. Please remember, crypto is volatile, and you can see that with 0x. Wow, 47%! Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care, and see you next time. Bye for now.